say I did hand the company to you. What would you do within 5 years with it?
Going undercover with a vice unit.
I wasn't waiting for you to get to
on
that.
Sex trafficking.
I have my, I'd say, core production team here with me today. And I have Jamie and Kalista.
Immediately, I started crying. And I was like, this was the opportunity that I've been praying for a year.
The secret, I think, a big part of the secret to my success was hiring women.
There's so many tools that I could just drop photos in and be like, here you go. It's amazing. And you would have thought it was amazing. And I'm like, I can't do that. It's not me.
So welcome to episode 1 of season 3 of the NextGen podcast. And this is a special episode because I have my, I'd say, core production team here with me today. And I have Jamie and Kalista. And let's go ahead and get some introductions. We'll start with Kalista since you were technically the first on the team.
Oh,
The OG over
here. Hi, I'm Kalista. I am in charge of our podcast.
You can do more than that, though. I mean, you're not just in charge of the podcast. Like, what do you do for NextGen Network?
Podcast is my main job. I also travel and help on-site videos.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much anything that you need, Marlon.
Yeah, you are like a Swiss Army knife. And one thing I love about you is that you well, I don't know if I love it or if I hate it, but you make me feel old because I feel like I finally gotten to the age to where I don't know everything about technology. And when I don't know, I just give it to you and you always figure it out for me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So how did we meet?
So we met through the internship program that I did at the chapel. It was a 4-year program. And in my 4th year, there was a Shark Tank class that you taught. And I was a part of that.
Yeah, for some reason, they think I'm a shark, and I guess I am. I don't know. But I remember it was the first, I think it was one of the first classes I saw you, and we were doing introductions. I'm like, there's something about this girl. And then when I saw your, the idea that you had for the solution, which was kind of like actually, you explained it. It was your
like
project.
A spin-off of The Office or something like that, but with the staff of the church.
Yeah. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, she's in the video production. I need to snag her up.
Yes.
But you were always so quiet and a little timid in class. And I was like, all right, well, when she gets on stage to pitch her project or her solution to the Sharks, I'm going to give her a hard time. And I did.
So was this like, wait, what kind of solution? Was it like a church solution? Like,
No, it was just like a TV show that was
Okay.
like just kind of based off of the staff, but showing kind of the behind the scenes of it.
okay.
Yeah. I remember asking you some serious questions. I forgot what they were now, but like you gave it right back to me. And I wasn't letting up and you didn't either. And I was like, all right, she is the one.
She's the one.
Right.
She's the one. So before we get to Jamie, what did you think when I called you to offer you the job?
Oh
You're
my
like,
gosh. Immediately, I started crying. And I
What?
was like, this was the opportunity that I've been praying for a year.
wow.
Wow.
Man, you're going to make me cry right now. Jeez. You should have saved that for off camera.
Right.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, you've been a blessing to me too in NextGen, and the podcast series wouldn't be where it is without you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Marlon, how do you feel about making women cry?
It depends if they're happy tears, sad tears, or mad tears. Happy tears are good.
Yes.
Yeah. Have I ever made you cry?
No.
Well, you made me.
I have no emotions.
Except for anger. All right, Jamie, give me your backstory.
I have no backstory.
I know you disappeared out of
mystery.
nowhere. Oh, you have a backstory. So Jamie used to work for me at GameStop way back in the day, like 15 years, something like that. Were you in college, freshman, something like that?
I was in college. So, well, I was getting my AA at SBC.
Okay.
And so I basically, after I got my AA, went to UNF. Did not tell you about it. No, I'm just kidding. He was like, I don't even remember firing you or you
don't
quitting.
remember firing you. I don't. You literally just vanished.
Yeah, and they just transferred me up to Jacksonville.
Okay.
And I did not love that GameStop.
Why not?
Because
I wasn't there?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
It was a totally different vibe. I was like, no, I'm not feeling this. And they didn't make me a senior game advisor, you know?
That was a missed opportunity.
And there was no like motive to meet quotas on magazines.
Really? Well, so there's a reason why I had the #1 GameStop in my district, because I wanted to exceed all expectations. You guys know me, I'm super competitive. And the secret, I think, a big part of the secret to my success was hiring women. Like my wife worked there, you worked there, there were some other women that worked there, and the boys would just come in all day and just eat it up.
My favorite was like when a game released after we sold pre-releases.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it was like 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And like the line around the building, I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, guys, you ready? I have one of my worst or my most embarrassing moments actually happened at GameStop.
Uh-oh.
And I recently remembered it. And I don't know if
At
you
my
remember
GameStop?
it. Yes, you were there. I went home. Well, I had to go home because like I was putting away video games and my pants split. Do you remember this?
I do remember that
I
now.
recently remembered it, and I was like, and I like stood up from like behind a shelf, and I'm like, Marlon, and he's like, what? And I'm like holding a video game, like you know, like behind me, and I'm like, my pants split. And he was like,
Bye.
you better go get some pants. And I was like, that's the one and only time that's ever happened to me.
That is funny.
But I do remember that being a very embarrassing moment. I was
That
like,
is hilarious. So
I'll
how
never-
long were you there with me? Like not
don't
long, like
know.
6 months maybe, if that.
so I think I went from you to UNF and did the Jacksonville GameStop. That was very short. I was actually with you for probably like 6 months. You're right.
Yeah.
And then I came back, but I got a job at a bank like right out of college. I was like, I'm going to give myself a year to get into film and production.
Yeah.
And if I can't do it, I went into the bank. But so I'm like, I'm not sure if I came back and worked for you there, but I definitely know like when the bank, because it was like when Wells Fargo bought Wachovia, and they had like quotas to like open checking accounts. I
Yeah.
totally used. I was like,
You're
oh,
welcome.
I'm used to quotas because I used to sell video game magazines. And we were outperforming the entire district.
we were nationally ranked, just so you know.
We were
Nationally
pretty good,
ranked.
yes.
Yeah.
We were a busy GameStop.
Yeah, we were. Kalista, do you play video games?
No, I don't. Not
Just
really.
too cool. You watch football though, right?
I
You're a
do.
49ers fan?
Yes,
They
I
suck.
am. Aw.
So Jamie, did you play video games?
Yes.
Or did you just say that to get the job?
No, I played World of Warcraft.
Oh, that's right.
I
you
mean,
did.
after I worked for you, I used to play, and then I met this guy
Mhm.
on World of Warcraft, and he lived in New Zealand, and he flew across the country to meet me in Jackson.
What was that
Wow.
like?
We're not going to talk about that.
Well, what did he
I
look
feel
like?
really bad. He cried and went home early. Like, I felt really bad because
Well,
he
why'd
spent
you
all
make
that
him
money.
cry? And how do you feel
I
making
don't know if
guys
he cried.
cry?
We're not going to talk about that because I don't want him to ever hear this and then be
He's not
like,
gonna hear this.
he might. He does make video games.
Does he really?
Yes. Well, he makes computer games. He had one that was called like Dungeon Den or something like that. It was like when like the games,
Yeah.
you know, like the app ones. He actually did really well. He actually thanked me later because he said I made a big difference in his life.
How long was he here before you
He
kicked him
came
out
for
of
the
the country?
holidays,
Okay.
and then, well, I think he left. I don't know. Maybe we just didn't jive because he was actually a fabulous human. He just didn't like sushi, and I love sushi, and I like a lot of adventurous things, and he was kind of set in like these are the things he knows and likes and sticks to. So that's really what happened there.
So what kind of character did you play in WoW?
Warrior.
Warrior. Doesn't surprise me. Were you like an orc
elf.
warrior?
No, I was exactly like, I was like, I got to be a hot chick. Like, this is the only time. And then, you know, you find out, and then people are like, well, you know, there's dudes playing chicks on there. And I'm like, that's really weird because
I kind of find that weird too. Like I couldn't
there's
do it.
guys that really love their like avatar, you know, basically.
Yeah.
Like, there's guys that
Oh,
really get in
wow.
relationships there, but it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, now you talk on the phone, you Skype.
Skype. Talk on the phone.
You FaceTime.
Discord,
you know
maybe.
what I mean?
Maybe Discord.
Back then, I Skyped.
TeamSpeak back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, I
Oh my
think,
God, I can't believe we just talked about this.
We
I feel
did.
so bad.
Well, you know, World of Warcraft is the reason why I never finished college. That
Are you
is
being serious?
I'm being serious.
Stop it.
I have all the credits I need, but I bounce around so much I wouldn't just focus on one topic. I never finish. But part of that is because I was up till like 4 a.m. playing WoW.
And doing dungeons with your friends
raiding.
in Europe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the
Yeah.
reason why. But World of Warcraft is not why we are here today. Well, actually, we didn't get into why you bailed on me.
I didn't really bail.
You bailed on me.
I
In
had
my
to,
head, you
I
bailed on me.
transferred to a different college.
Yeah, you bailed
But
on me.
that being said, was really cool when I moved to LA.
Mm-hmm.
This is right after college. I moved to LA and I spent, I don't know, 16 years there. Long time. I just moved back in March.
16
last
years.
March.
Gosh, that's like almost as old as Kalista.
I know. It's crazy. Imagine how much LA's changed. But we did that. I got to work on the, you know this, the BlizzCon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I got to film and
Did
do
you
really
cosplay
cool stuff.
as a night
And I
elf?
got
Night
World of
elf?
Warcraft like 2 years in a row. So their world championship.
Okay.
No, I didn't do the cosplay. I was working. But it is amazing the production they put together. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else have you done?
Oh, I've done a lot of
You've
things.
done things.
I'm a total sellout, though.
This is like your time to shine. 2 minutes
So,
of fame.
I go to California and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a filmmaker. I'm going to do all this stuff. And then, I start working for Fox. And then I worked for a religious organization and I ran their studio, which was called Kabbalah.
Mm-hmm.
So Madonna, all the Hollywood stars were into it. So like Madonna, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, like they would actually come into the temple and they'd do their naming ceremony for their kids. And it was like the registering. So I worked there and I technically worked for Kabbalah International, which is just overseeing all the video production for the world of Kabbalah.
Is Kabbalah like a cult or something? What is that?
It's a Jewish.
Okay.
So so Judaism, there's mysticism in it and the Torah but the Torah is not part of that, but there is a certain part of it and Kabbalah is that part of like the traditional religion.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
So they like took that and expanded on it.
Gotcha.
I mean, they were really good people. I actually really enjoyed working there. I met some amazing people. I worked with a motion graphic artist that he was killer. So he taught me a lot. We would kind of like trade secrets.
Yeah, that's cool.
His name was Jason. He was really cool. I could still reach out to him today if I wanted to.
Nice.
So anyways, I ran their studio there. I was a production manager for a while and did a bunch of video production. Flew to New York City a bunch. That was after Fox. And then from there, I went to the Central Valley and I worked for a startup called GVWIRE in Granville Homes. So Darius Assemi is the owner of that. He does a lot of great things for the world. I would say the world and the States across the country.
Yeah.
Like building hospitals in Afghanistan from medical clinics.
You talk about him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he actually taught me a lot because he taught me to be prepared. I remember the first time, so he hired me from LA. I go into the gig and I'm like running a little late and I run up to, I had a meeting with him and he owns this huge company. He owns like 40 companies from ag and pistachios, almonds to single family homes, developer, and then also the other side of the medical side and nonprofit side. And I'm walking in, his executive assistant's there, and she's like, whoa, stops me. And she's like, this is your first day. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, and she throws me a pen and a notebook. And she says, never walk in without a pen and a notebook. And I was like,
So she was looking out for you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And she left shortly after that. But I went in there, and then it was just like always being on. I don't know how to explain it, but he taught me how to, how to deal with people.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, I got to wear a lot of hats. So I ran the video production department for Granville Homes, which is Darius Assemi, but it was really, an umbrella of a big corporation. Corporation. What the hell is that?
It's a new word, apparently.
I like it though. And so with that, from political campaigns, city councils, county supervisors to congressmen to governors, the president. I mean, I did a bunch of political stuff, helping with their campaigns and running the video production side of that, stuff that was commercialized and the digital marketing. And then from producing that to commercials, that ran on all the television and streaming platforms. got to do a lot of really cool stuff. And then, you know, huge galas and for baseball teams. I mean, it was that kind of opened the door to a lot of my experience going undercover with a vice unit.
I wasn't waiting for you to get to
on
that.
Sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. So, and that was a pretty eye-opening experience. So that stuff was more for GVWIRE, which is the startup part. Oh.
I just gave
like
Jamie the
that?
eye because you keep smacking my desk, smacking the table.
Yes. So GVWIRE was a startup digital news organization that he was very passionate about news and informing people. And that's what also opened the door to everything else in the Fresno County area and then statewide for California. And so with that, I got to do like a whole public service. You know, I did a bunch of PSAs on Islamophobia and a lot of stuff based in that because he is Middle Eastern. Mm-hmm. And then I also did like a lot of fundraising and, you know, bringing awareness on serious things that are occurring, especially in the Central Valley, which working with like the DA and interviewing her and the police chief and just going on. And then getting to go undercover with the vice unit and really getting to see how they operate and how they, you know, address human trafficking. Because typically in human trafficking, to be honest, your victim is the woman being trafficked. So, you know, like back in the day, you used to treat like prostitutes was the crime, but the crime isn't the prostitute. It's the John, which is your demand, which is John is the person that is wanting the service, right? And that's a federal or a felony. And then it would be the pimps, which is the other problem because they're forcing these girls into the situation. So, like, I mean, even on that day that we were undercover, I mean, there was a girl that was 16 that we arrested. But when we arrest a prostitute, it's really to remove them from the situation. And when I say we, I'm not a cop. So I didn't do the arresting. I filmed it. But she was just removed from this.
What was that?
Oh, my gosh.
It was a flickering.
Yeah, the lights just went. But so that was really eye-opening, and I felt like we did a lot of great things, you know, bringing awareness to that and addressing it, you know, throughout the county. But it's also, there's a whole ring that goes through all the states, you know. They start in certain places. And then,
so were the women upset or mad when they got arrested, or were they like, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord, get me out of here?
Well, most of them go back to it, and that's mainly out of fear. So it's not an easy thing to remove yourself from that situation, especially if it's generational, which happens a lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And when generational happens, I mean, that's because the mother is in prostitution. She gets pregnant.
Yeah.
Then, you know, her pimp, which you're thinking like a pimp, you know, like the idea of what a pimp is a little bit different than
what they actually are.
Yes. Yeah. Like they could look like you and me. Like it could be a woman. It could be a man. It could be, you know, everyone gets traded, I guess.
Yeah.
Sex
crazy.
trafficked. I don't know. It's horrible. It's really horrible. But I actually asked the vice unit who I was working with, I was like, how do you do this on a daily basis? You know, I feel like, you know, you see this and you get desensitized to it. But their mission is still the same.
Yeah.
And that is to help these women that are being sex trafficked.
And was that the reason why you got involved with the...
It was a part of... So I was the video component of doing like a deep dive because GVWIRE didn't have enough hands on deck to be... And it really wasn't our mission, was to be more of the like accident, you know, this is like be the first at the scene. That wasn't our goal. Our goal was to be more like a vice, so doing deeper dives into stories, in which that could be from health, that could be to public education. I mean, there's a lot there in each.
Yeah.
They're all ran so differently, and then going into sex trafficking, which was like how it's done and who is the real victim, and diving into bringing awareness because people aren't aware of that. And truly, you know, they're doing that with social media today. A lot of sex traffickers are picking up kids that are in like 10 or 11. I mean,
that's terrifying. Like, thinking about that, being a father, like your kid,
right.
boy or girl, could get snatched up.
Right. And the way it starts too, it's not a snatch. That's the thing. Like, what you don't understand is that they integrate themselves into that person's life. So let's say your 12-year-old girl is feeling vulnerable because she's being picked on at school, right? And someone says like her hair is funny or her lips or her nose or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then this guy messages her on social and was like, "Oh, you're beautiful. Don't let them bother you." You become
like the guy
a
from Europe
confidant.
that you're talking to?
Exactly. No, that sounds so horrible. No. But yes,
Yeah.
actually, probably very similar.
Yeah.
Didn't even think video games would be such an easy
Imagine
route.
today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if it is there. I mean, that wasn't even talked about with the Vice. It was more talking about like Instagram messages and Snapchat and Facebook, and that's how these kids are on this. Facebook, realistically, there's no young
Kalista,
kids
are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
You
I
are?
do
You
have
are?
Facebook. Yeah.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
use it very often.
Okay.
So.
Well, you are mature for your age, so I guess that's why.
But yes, I guess Facebook's out of the question. But TikTok, like all of these outlets that allow people to get themselves involved in your life. So they start there, they become your best friend, and they say, "Come meet up with me," and then like it still starts, and it's great, and they date for 6 months. And like not a 12-year-old, but like let's say a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, they date for 6 months, and then that's when it starts. Like they've met your mom, they met your dad, they met your sister, they met your brother, they met you all this, they've been through all this stuff with you. Then one day, they tell you to do this, and you're like, "I'm not gonna do it." "Well, you're gonna do it, or you'll never see your parents again. I know who they are, I know where you live." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then they have something to hold on. Or it may not start there. It may start, if you're going to do this, or I'm going to tell your parents that thing that you told me, right? Because that's how relationships are eventually. Like you trust them and you tell them things that maybe you wouldn't tell someone else.
Yeah.
And I have proof of this. I have it right here in this text, or I have it that. And so that's how they get you to do these things.
It just sucks that
And then that's where it starts. and
that
it just
people
spirals.
are young adults are that insecure to think, "Oh, well, if my mom and dad finds out this, my life is over. So now I have to do what this person says."
But think about you as a kid. You didn't feel that way? Like, "Oh, I'm going to get
Oh.
grounded?"
No, I got grounded all the time.
Well, I don't know if every kid's like that, but maybe.
No.
Some people have like a fear of disappointment,
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I
mean,
don't
you
live
are
in
right.
fear, so.
No, me neither. Obviously, we don't. Well, so what you're saying after all of this is that you have range when it comes to
I've done a
video
lot, yes.
productions, and you have even won a few awards, I think. Yes.
Oh, I forgot to. Oh,
I asked her to bring the tellies, and she forgot to bring the tellies.
I did. I'm a horrible.
Because I was trying to show her off.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've won some Atellies. It's been cool. I've won Addies. I've put a lot of stuff out there. So.
Yeah, selfishly, that was one of the reasons why I was so excited about adding you to the team, is because now I can say we are an award-winning team. So we've won awards for publications.
That's my only worth.
That's the only reason why you're here.
He's like, those trophies you
It's
have.
for the trophies that everybody sees in every Zoom meeting that you're in all the time.
Well, I have to, they're expensive. So.
Yeah.
I can't let them sit in my closet.
Yeah,
I feel like my natural self would be like, no one needs to see those.
Yeah, you earned them. Show them off.
I did.
Hopefully, I pick up 2 next year. When do they come out? In April? I'm in the running for a couple.
I don't know. It's been a bit.
Yeah, we'll
since
see.
I've actually, but I did another doc, which was a short doc, and that was on the cost of war, and that was a really cool one too, which is on the honor flight. And there was a couple of other things, a lot of campaigns and series that I've done. Most of the time I'm like a small production, so I get like 1 or 2, maybe 1 or 2 more shooters. Most of the time it's just me running around acting like 3 shooters.
and now you have a whole arsenal.
I know, it's wonderful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes. Well, I had a whole arsenal there too. They just like to divide us, divide and conquer.
Strength in numbers. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all about collaboration.
I'm about it.
So
I love it.
How did you get back to, how do we reunite?
I stalked you. How did we reunite? Well, I moved. So from California, I moved to Pennsylvania, and I worked with a studio there that it was very niche. It's Celtic, and it's called USA Kilts, and they do amazing things, and I actually really loved it. My husband's Scottish, so worked with them for a while, did really cool stuff, and then I was basically the whole reason we moved to PA was we're trying to get home because we had a daughter, and we needed family around. And so then from there, Chris finally got the job here in Florida. I moved here, and I reached out to Marlon because I was like, hey, man, I've been stalking you on social for the last 20 years. I can't believe you were doing this. Because I thought, like, when I knew Marlon, he was like, I'm getting out of the police academy. I'm going that route. I work at GameStop as a manager.
I was actually close to becoming a police officer. So I was going through the program, through the entry program at St. Pete Police Department. And then Ashley got pregnant. And she was like, I don't know if I want you to be a police officer anymore. So that's why I ended up not becoming a cop.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was all in.
Because it was like, yes, you were.
Yeah.
And I remember that. You're like, this is just passing the time.
Yeah.
You know, as you were doing that. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, everything
But
happens for a
wasn't
reason.
kids like a whole part of the reason marriage was even a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to have kids, but I didn't think we were going to have kids so soon.
But you didn't have the conversation with her that I'm going to be a cop and we're going to have kids?
We did, but I think it got real whenever she actually really got pregnant, which is fine. It's fine.
Okay. Because I'm like, wait, she met you when you were going through the police academy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. So those dreams changed. Now it makes sense. And then I remember when you started NextGen, and I just remember seeing the LinkedIn post or something, and I was like, really? Marlon's in the same field as me? Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
I've been doing it forever. Like, what is happening here? And then I reached out, and it was a little slow in the beginning.
It was slow. It probably took us, like 4 or 5 months before
I moved in March.
Yeah.
I probably didn't start looking or even like reaching out to anyone because we're trying to get settled, right?
Yeah.
Moving's a lot, and I've moved a lot. But I feel like it was probably more May, June, because I was getting the Airbnb ready.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of going back and forth because we took our house up north and we made it into an Airbnb. And that whole venture is super fun. Love it.
Yeah.
Actually, I loved living in the town Pottsville. It's a small little town. The original Yingling brewery is there. Wow. And so is the family. They do so much for the community.
You said they're pretty awesome, right?
They are amazing people.
Yeah.
So we kept that house, and it's been doing all right.
And we didn't like officially start working together until like October. Yeah.
End of October, I would say.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, can you edit this photo montage? I'm like, sure.
So it was a photo montage, Kalista, it's a New Jersey SNA, New Jersey School Nutrition Association. Okay. And I had recently gone through some organizational changes, and my main production team at the time has moved on. So I'm like, all right, well, I know a bunch of people that can do the job. Let me start reaching out. And then I gave you the first one. But you always told me that you were just as good, if not better. Well, you really said you're better than everybody else.
I don't say that.
Don't let her lie to you.
I have my own style and look, and
You're very experienced and you're confident.
Yes,
and
that's
you
true.
You know what you know and you like what you like and that sort of thing, right? But me, I guess coming out of that past relationship, I guess you can call, I was like, I don't know if I can trust her. Let me give her something small. And I probably gave you two or three small things to start off, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Jamie's not lying. She's the real deal.
I know. I was like, when you gave me the photo montage, I'm like, there's so many ways to do this where I don't even have to work. Like, there's so many tools that I could just drop photos in and be like, here you go. It's just amazing. And you would have thought it was amazing. And I'm like, I can't do that. It's not me. So I'm like, what am I going to do with this thing? So I had to like custom create it. I don't know why I did that, but
animations and everything. Like it was overkill.
I just didn't want it to be the same thing that everyone else has.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, and that's good too, because at NextGen, we don't ever want to be the same as anybody else. Like we're about setting the bar super high, which is kind of why we're here today. So I started this podcast, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so. And the first iteration was cool. It was all right. Like I was just filming with the Rode lapel mics off of my MacBook on site everywhere just to get the job done.
It's all about the content.
Well, the content was great. But you know me, like I'm like you, like it needs to be the best. Like if I'm not giving it my all, it's not worth it, right? It needs to be exceptional. So I went from there, and by this time I met Kalista. And I was like, right, now I have someone who could actually edit these things for me because I don't have time to do a video podcast and start editing. So I got these Mevo live streaming cameras, but they were only 1080p. And I
I mean, why do we need more?
No, you always need more.
I
You always need more.
Just like we need more battery power on that light behind
Exactly.
you.
Right.
Was it the light behind me?
Yes, now it makes sense. I was
You could have plugged them in. All right, so we got the Meebos. That was cool. 1080p footage. Like, I'm just learning how to film these podcasts, right? And then I'm like, all right, I got to get better. So I was talking to Brad. He goes to our church. He runs an internship program that Kalista and I are part of. And they have an awesome podcast called Just Lead. And he was upgrading his camera. And, like, I'm kind of sort of chasing him in a way. Like, he's my target. Friendly competition. He may not know it until now, though. So I was like, all right, well, I don't have a bunch of money to spend. Let me try and get these GoPros. So I got 4K GoPros. And those were cool for a few episodes. And then
I mean, they're wide and they're never going to be sharp.
Yeah,
as sharp as
exactly,
what you're wanting.
Exactly. And then I run into you and I see.
He's like, how can I use Jamie?
Yeah, how can I use Jamie? And between you and Eric on the team and just me following Brad and other YouTubers online, I see these really, really crispy looking shots. And I'm like, all right, I need to really set my game up if I want to be the best I could possibly be. So we got 3 new cameras, and we are here today in the NextGen studio to kind of like test it out. So this is actually a dry run of how our podcast could look. So if anybody out there, if you don't like it, if you think it's trash,
Let us know.
1, it's Jamie's fault, and 2, let us know.
It's true. Well, so Marlon showed me a couple he's like, I watch podcasts, but these are the ones I really like. And I was like, okay, so let's look at them. I'm like, okay, well, those seem really basic. But that being said, they're clean, they're easy. I mean, there's no one manning these cameras, so that's dangerous on its own. It's not something I would traditionally do.
Yeah, but
you can see them, but
you got to think about it. When I'm on the road doing podcasts, I need to be able to set it up myself.
He wants to be a one-man show over here.
I am a one-man
We'll
show.
see how well it goes. Well, he is a one-man show on GoPros.
Yeah, on GoPros. On this, I don't know, maybe not.
Maybe eventually, we'll see. So then we were like, well, I feel like they're so sterile when you don't. You want it to feel intimate and edgy and, a little drama.
Yeah.
So this is what we kind of came up with. It's a first run again. And the light behind you is off and it's going to bother me for the rest of the episode.
Just thinking about it, I'm bothered already. I wish you hadn't
because
told
right
me.
now it's like, oh, that really cool shot that you had this like light beam,
Yeah.
This sword from Star Wars.
I know, right?
And now it's just a white blob.
Well, can't Kalista add it in post?
We can make Kalista. You want to go turn on the light? Right. You want to go plug in the light during our podcast? Yeah. So yeah, this is kind of what we came up with. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, we're working in this tight space and we're trying to make the most of what we got.
I think we did.
Without getting too crazy.
And the thing I love about it the most is that no one in our space, in child nutrition, food service, podcast, whatever, is shooting a podcast that looks like this with this level of audio with cameras.
Oh my gosh, the audio work.
I mean, this was the first thing I upgraded actually was the audio, and Kalista, it made a huge difference, didn't it?
It did.
It really did. Yeah, it's all about the audio, right?
It really is. So that's like one of the big rules. Even though I'm a video person, people are willing to forgive bad video, right? But they're not willing to forgive audio. Like it could have a beautiful image, but if the audio is crap, I'm turning it off. I'm like not listening.
Absolutely.
So, I could mute it, I guess.
What's the point? So, Kalista, are you happy with the setup?
I am very happy with the setup.
Did you think the setup was going to take as long as it did? Because it took, how long did it take?
I don't know, maybe a couple hours? No, it was like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. But the whole thing was like, we're all learning new cameras. Like, it's not really new for you, but it was, you shoot on Canon.
Right. So, and Blackmagic. So it's not
Excuse
the concept
me, yes, she
of
has a cinematographer camera too.
I mean, that's not red. It's not a dragon.
All that stuff.
Listen, it's not Alexa. Though I love shooting on this. But anyways, so no, like the concept's the same, right? Aperture, all that stuff stays the same. The ISO adjusts differently per, what camera you're using. But that being said, the menus all over the place.
It was the menus.
And I've used Sony before. It's just been a bit. So I'm just getting refreshed, I guess.
Yeah, and it's funny because people expect me to know how to use these cameras and do lighting and all that stuff. I'm like, guys, That's not me. I know people. I do relationships. They actually create the content. Like I have the ideas and they execute. So I was absolutely no help.
He was a little help. I mean, I was like, hey, you learning your camera over there?
Yeah, sure. The only help I offer was me sitting down when you told me to sit down.
Oh, that was perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
he
what I'm
does
good
take
at.
direction very well. So does Kalista.
I learned that from my wife.
They listen when asked.
When I hear.
I'm like, I'm not sitting down. You tell me to sit down, not happening.
It's funny. So, Kalista, if you could change anything about the way we do our podcast or film videos, what would it be? Do you know?
I don't know.
Tough question because we're pretty perfect over here at
Yeah.
NextGen.
Yeah. I mean, this is a great step up.
It is.
The only thing that's coming to mind right now is that I would change is turn on that light behind you.
I was
guess
going to
that
say, she was
makes
going to say
sense.
the people.
The
Like,
No.
I mean, if the host just could completely change.
Well, that's a good question. So you've been working with NextGen for a year and a half, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that? All right.
Mhm.
So you can probably tell by now I'm pretty crazy. I'm ridiculous. If I could do anything to be a better leader or mentor or business owner, what would that be? And I'm putting you on the spot. And
Be honest.
you better be
These are-
honest.
This is growth for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to be better for you.
He's not
Yeah.
asking for a whitewashed answer.
Let's get into it. I'm gonna ask you next too.
Okay, I have a lot of. No, I'm just joking.
She's like,
Just
let me
got a
pull out my
list.
list.
No.
Well, I would say I think you're great. I think
But
when we met, you
Mhm.
said you were a very general person and you needed somebody that was
general?
focused on the details.
hmm
So I think that could maybe be an area of growth for
yeah, I don't
you.
like details.
Mhm.
I do not
Okay.
like details.
I wasn't sure what general meant, so I was
Do
like,
you call me basic?
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, that's why he hires us.
Exactly.
We're the
This is
detailed
true.
people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He
Mhm.
likes to be the idea guy.
Mhm.
I'm used
Mhm.
to that. Darius was very much similar.
Yeah.
Like he would be, this, and this. Can you do this? And I'm like, yeah, I can do it. And my thing was, he was like, I don't care how the sausages make, just make it. And I'm like, okay, we can
Yeah.
definitely make it. But here's the thing. Do you
Mhm.
want me to make it like this, where you have to pay me for 3 weeks to make it? Or do you want me to make it like this and, do it in a day and a half? And he's like, day and a half. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll go there.
Yeah.
I just have too many ideas. Like my mind never stops. It's always going, and I don't have time to focus on like details on one certain project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is why we're here. We're here to assist you with that.
Yeah.
And being a detail-oriented person, somewhat.
I'm
So,
not.
and I need direction because it's really weird. I've created so many great things in my life, but if I'm sitting in my house and I'm like, what am I going to do for myself? Nothing comes. I'm like, nothing. Like,
Right.
I guess I'll shoot my daughter. Don't lie. I'm not lying. I shoot her a lot and I put her on TikTok all the time. And people judge me for it and say, I can't believe you put your daughter on TikTok. And I'm like, listen, I know she's 2, but I'm pruning her. No. She's gonna be a star.
She probably will.
But no. But that being said, like other than my daughter, I can't come up with like what I want to focus on. I'm too broad. So it's nice when someone comes in and hones me.
Yeah, just focus on the things I want to focus
Yeah,
on. You'll be good.
that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
You'll be
And plus,
good.
I don't mind hanging out with you, so
Yeah, you're
it
kinda
works
cool, too.
out.
Thanks.
Okay. I haven't seen Marlon mean yet. I wonder if it's
Am
there.
I ever mean?
I don't think I've seen you mean either.
Yeah, I'm not a
He
mean guy.
has other people do the dirty work.
Hey, I'll do the dirty work, but I have really thick skin. It takes a lot to get me upset or angry. And honestly, like, what's the point of being mean?
There is none.
There's no point of being
You
mean.
gain nothing.
Yeah,
right?
nothing.
A lot of wasted energy, right?
I was just gonna say that it's all wasted energy. Like I've been in situations where there are people that are mad at other people in my circle
Mm-hmm.
or mad at me or whatever, vice versa. I'm like, guys, just get over it. Like it's not life threatening. Let's just all find a way to work together, move on.
It's
Because
not life threatening.
I'm not gonna stay mad at someone that I had an issue with when that person can be an ally again one day. You know, so what's the point of fighting?
Right.
Just
Burning
get over
bridges
it.
isn't a good idea.
That's one lesson that my parents always told me as a kid was don't burn a bridge, because when I was younger, whew, I could torch a bridge like you wouldn't believe, until one day it came back to bite me, and I was like, all right, maybe they were right.
So can we hear that story?
The story for another day.
Oh, darn. That's the one I want to hear.
Come back for part 2.
What bridge did Marlon burn?
So your turn now. How could I be better?
Like real stuff.
Yeah.
I think you're which is not this is more like a character.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a character flaw. It's your character.
Stop trying to butter me up. Give it to me.
No, it's just like you're always like picking people up all the time. Like you're always upbeat and always telling people how awesome they are. So I can't ever tell when you're being genuine versus like just saying it.
You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that, because I've had other people say the same thing. Like people that actually turned into becoming like really close friends. And I guess it's almost like I'm polarizing in a way, I've been told. And I'm so supportive and caring and like, hey, like I want to help you do this. Let me help you do that, whatever. People don't know it's genuine until they really know it's genuine.
Right.
And it's always genuine. It just sometimes takes some people to trust me.
Yeah.
It's really what it is. It's like a trust thing. Like, can I trust this guy for, like, does he really want to help me get from A to Z?
Maybe that's
Is he being nice because he has an ulterior
some of us
motive?
have been burned before. So, trust isn't given as easily. But no, there's no, like, the thing is that, you are taught, like, there's 2 methods to the thinking. What is it? Is it trust until someone gives you a reason not to trust? Or is it let people earn your trust? Which one do you do?
I say trust until they do something wrong and then not trust.
Even if that wrong could be really bad, like something that really changes your life.
So.
I'm the same way. I trust first. Like, I trust, like, immediately. Like, like if we have a conversation and, like, I get good vibes and, we're cool. Like, I trust you. But if not, I'm like if I get to the point to where I don't trust you or we're not aligned, then you're just like, you're dead to me. Like, not like out of anger, but I just cut you off because you don't get any of my energy. Like that's
all
it.
my ex-boyfriends.
I guess so. I don't know. But yeah. So so what about you?
So that's a good question. So I think I go back and forth on it personally.
I can see it in our conversations.
I go back and forth because, back when I first moved to LA and, you have to really pick your friends in a place like that. Most people don't last that long, especially when they're moving there with no family, nothing. And they're like, hey, we're going to make this work. Because LA is a place that people will take what they can from you. And it's like, the piggy bank eventually runs dry. And then that's when most people break and they move out.
Yeah.
So being through that, and luckily I had a really core group, but I used to be naive and I wasn't naive anymore. I saw a lot of things and that they happened to me, but maybe they happened to others. Some did happen to me. There's some stories there for sure that were life lessons. And so going through that, that's why I go back and forth on it. I don't know which, like I used to be trust first, and now kind of like, I feel like you have to let them earn it a little bit. So
I definitely trust first, and I don't think I could have gotten to the position that I'm in right now if I wasn't genuine in who I was. To kind of go back to that.
Okay, yeah,
because,
that's where we're at here.
Yeah,
Marlon's flaws.
My flaws.
They're not a flaw. It's just like, do you tell people? Are you ever direct? Like, do you say, I hate this?
Yes, I do now. I've learned my lesson.
Good.
That, I've always been genuine, but I may not have said things at certain times because I didn't want that person to be upset, because ultimately I wanted them to be happy and have everybody just to get along. But then I've learned that by not being fully genuine all the time or direct, but being direct in love, it actually hurts everybody. So you should just be direct and sometimes have that hard conversation when it needs to be had. But what I was going to say is, like, you guys are, like, you're on the team because I value you guys in terms of, like, executing and production and being creative and all of that, right? So that's what makes you valuable. I'm valuable to a lot of people because of my relationships, because I have a lot of friends. I always know somebody that can do this job or help you over here with that, and I love to connect people. Like, that's what I love to do, is connect people. And I would not have gotten to where I'm at now if I wasn't genuine in my desire to connect people and to help people and those sorts of things. So
I feel like this is really intense.
it's intense, and you can trust me.
I'm like, where are we going here? Oh man, my heart.
Exactly. Well, because it's funny because like you and I are just now starting to work together, but like we're working more closely as we move on.
Yeah.
And there have been some conversations where I can tell, I'm like, does she trust me yet? You know, like are we there yet? Is he really genuine?
Like I do trust you. Yes,
I know you
do
trust me to
you.
an extent,
I do
but
trust you.
I know you do, but like,
I just feel like everyone's got a little skeleton in their closet. Where is it?
well, no one's perfect.
No, you've been actually very upfront about everything. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, your partnerships, your past, like you've been awesome. So,
yeah, I mean, it's the only way to
appreciate it.
grow together. Like,
Yes.
hey, we're here to conquer and like to do some really cool things, and
Yes.
I need a strong team that could run together. And the best way to do that is to be honest with each other, but then push each other too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a very direct person. So,
You are. Oh my gosh.
I'm like sometimes too direct. But in that being said, when you said it hurts others, I hate when people waste your time. And so,
And I am working on. You guys both tell me if I fail at this. I'm working on communicating better because I'm not a detail-oriented person. So when I sometimes say something or ask you for something or whatever, like I'm super general about it, and I just expect you to understand what I want to do. Now there is one person that can do that. Her name is Sarah Kolchak, and she's on our team. She's
Yeah.
our director of design, and she's awesome. But anyways. So I need to be more direct and specific when I ask for something because I don't want to have to explain myself again. But that's
Yeah.
my fault for being general and not saying exactly what I want, how I want it.
I feel like I don't really have an issue too much with that because I'll ask the questions. And I think that's
You do
all,
ask a lot of questions,
Yes.
which is good.
because I don't want to assume something
Yeah,
and be wrong.
yeah,
But that being, I need all the deets, you know?
yeah.
Oh my gosh, my husband would hate me. He's like, deets, can you just say details? I'm like, no, deets.
No, deets. Deets.
So that's where I think directness applies.
Mhm.
But I feel like I do get your jam pretty well. But that's also a growth on the people that are working with you
Mm,
because they should ask questions
yeah,
and not assume either.
yeah,
So that's not always on you.
yeah. You're right. But as a leader, I should, if they're not asking questions,
Ask them if they understand fully.
Yeah.
And if they have any questions.
I
That's
should.
probably the only thing I would do.
yeah, it all falls on the leader.
Yeah. Can you explain back to me what I said?
Yeah. In full detail,
Yes.
word for word. Word for word.
This was a fun conversation.
It is. So I feel like everyone's getting a chance to get to know us because you guys are normally behind the cameras, so people don't get a chance to chat with you. But now they do.
Female team over here.
That's
Girl
right.
power.
That's right. Girl
Right?
power.
Kalissa's powerhouse.
Kalista's the
Rocking and
future.
rolling. Yes, she
She
is.
is the future.
He's going to hand down the company to you.
Right.
It's all yours.
The golden egg.
So let's say I did hand the company to you. What would you do within 5 years with it? Well, first of all, would you even take it?
I think I would, even
Ooh.
though I would feel super unprepared. Like obviously,
Right now, yeah.
Well, everyone's always unprepared at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do with it.
What do you want? Where would you like to see NextGen in 3 to 5 years? Like, what's the next project that we could potentially do or we can do better? Where you're like, oh my gosh, that's a ton of fun.
I like that we're starting to expand out of the K-12 because I feel like there's a lot of things out there.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you say out of K-12, do you mean K-12 food service or just K-12 in general?
I think K-12 in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want us to have more conversations and tell more stories of people that are doing other things. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people doing so many amazing things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Actually, I have one last question.
Oh.
What would you say a good leader is?
You asking me first?
Yeah, as a leader. What are the qualities of a good leader?
A good leader puts other people first. That's what I believe. Puts other people first and willing to make the tough decisions where they need to be made that benefit everybody. And honestly, let's be real. I feel like a good leader gives God the glory
Oh,
all the time. That's me.
okay.
Kalista,
good.
your turn.
I think one of the biggest takeaways I have from doing that 4-year internship is as a leader, you never want to do anything that you wouldn't do like you wouldn't want to ask somebody on your team to do something that you
Mhm.
wouldn't do.
I read this book once called Good to Great. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah. Wait, have I read that?
I don't know.
I don't think
maybe.
so, but I've heard of it.
But I remember that, like, what a level 5 leader, right? The level 1, 2, 3, 4. And
Mhm.
most leaders, I feel like, are usually like around 11, level 3.
Mhm.
And then maybe there's someone that makes a level 4. But the idea of a great leader is someone that prepares people to run the company without them.
Yeah.
So basically training people without the fear of being replaced, right? Because
No,
that's
you
what
wanna
most
replace
people
yourself.
do, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to give too much because then they're not worth anything. Does that make sense? Like, oh, I
Yeah.
trained you to be me.
Right.
Well, then they don't need me, and they're paying me more than they were paying you, so they can get you cheaper. That's the common,
Mhm.
concept. And I think, like, even if you say, like, you are an entrepreneur and a business owner, but people that are working for people, even if they were to say they don't worry about that, I feel like I hear that more than anything from people in a different way. It doesn't have to be in those terms exactly.
I think the only way you can grow as a company is hire people that are better than you and empower them.
That's right. That's a great leader.
Yeah.
So someone that wants to surround themselves with people that
Yeah,
know more
like,
than them.
I could never set this up if you weren't here. I couldn't edit the podcast like Kalista does if she wasn't on the team. Like, I'm consistently trying to find people that are better than me to do things that I can't do or even
Right.
don't want to do or don't have the time to do.
I guess
because
that
I
makes
wanna
you a great
grow.
leader.
I must be like a level 6 or 7, right?
The test of time.
Lies. Lies.
No, but I don't know. That question, it always plays in my head. Like, it's kind of like a theme of my life. So
Yeah. Well,
you don't want to be scared of being replaced. You want to grow and help those around you.
Yeah, I don't want to sound overconfident, but I don't think anybody can replace me because I'm the piece that other people can't do or I'm the relationship guy, right?
Yeah.
You're the creative director. Like, I can't do what you do. You can't do what I do. So we
Yeah.
need to find a way to work together so we can grow together.
Yeah. I definitely don't have your relationships.
Yeah. Most people
Mine are
don't.
better.
They might be. Hey, time will tell. Time will tell. But you skipped out on your question. Where
What
would
was
where would you see NextGen, or what do you want to do in the next 3 to 5 years?
Really cool things.
Like, what's our next level up?
I don't know.
I have tons of ideas, things that I want to do,
Yeah.
obviously.
I mean, they kind of align with my goals. My favorite thing, like I'm like, oh, okay. Well, how am I going to answer this? In my head, 5,000 ideas. No, my motive and what inspires me to do what I do is being creative, but not just being creative, but telling stories. So, and specifically stories that uplift community. So I love like organization or branding or things that really change or are trying to change the world or an idea or sustainability.
Mhm.
Like you mentioned a company the other day, and plastic bottles is a horrible thing. Just like what is it called, fast fashion, and that's like cheap clothing that people buy, right? But then like the buttons break or it rips, and then it just makes it into the ocean, and then it piles up on another continent.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's slowly destroying the world. So I like people that do missions to better everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And humankind on top of that.
and
so.
that's why we're gonna film a documentary on food and culture and the impact of
Yeah.
culture on food, and we're gonna travel the world together
Yeah.
as a NextGen family. And then every community that we visit, we're gonna leave it better than how we found it.
And that's the other thing. So that's why I like stories and missions like that. And that's because, weirdly enough, as being someone that's lived throughout California in different areas and living in PA, you know how many people live in these communities that have never either left the state or
a lot.
even left their community?
Yeah.
And that being said, I feel like they're lacking a lot of things that would, like, compassion and empathy. And I mean, sympathy, okay, great. But empathy and understanding where people come from, if you aren't able to do that, then sympathy means nothing anyways.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's bringing the world to them and letting other people find out about these really cool initiatives and things that are happening and what people are creating. And capitalism, I know, is like a failing. People, some people don't love the idea of capitalism, but if it didn't exist, would people still be coming up with all these great ideas?
Where would the innovation be?
Right. So like people
Why
would
would
just
I
be in
want
a
a
steady
podcast?
place.
Let's be real.
Right.
Capitalism.
So, like I like showing off people and what they're doing.
Yep.
I
you
guess
do.
I love humans.
Yep, we're aligned there too.
We're horrible, but we're great.
We are. And I think with you, like the biggest challenge that I've had with you is that it's not even a bad thing, really.
Oh.
You are so good doing creative work, but you're also really good with people and managing. And so we are currently the marketing agency for a company called Cox, and they provide, shrimp, like domestic shrimp.
Hey, but it's wild caught.
Wild caught
It's a big
domestic
deal.
shrimp.
If you
It is
find
a
out
big
what
deal.
farm raised does to the world,
Yeah.
wild caught.
And you have been managing that account to perfection. And I see the way that you organize, or the way that you communicate with the team, and vice versa. And let's be real. I've asked everybody if they like you on the
Okay,
team.
that's good. I wonder if I got any bad
And
answers.
no, shockingly, everybody loves you.
Oh, who knew?
But it's like I'm at this point now to where like I almost want you to manage as much as you are creative, or as much as you would do creative work. But I know that what really, really fills your cup is the creative piece.
No, I love both. I do love both.
Okay.
I do love both.
I have you on camera saying that you love both.
I do. I like project management. I love dealing with people. I love
Bossing people
communicating.
around.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
But no.
You're good at it though.
But I'm not. No, but
Yeah.
I really value everyone's efforts and everything that everyone's doing.
Yeah.
And I try to communicate and be direct, so I'm not wasting
I
people's
was just
time.
gonna say that. Don't
Their
waste
times,
anyone's
but
time.
like time. But yes, I like to be direct and get to the point. I do it in meetings with some of our executives that aren't even a part of the. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, well, let's go back to the point. I hit the
You hit
table.
the table again.
I'm the worst podcaster. Who knew? Marlon's like, I knew.
I knew.
She talks with her hands. She's Italian.
Yep.
It's true. So yeah, I like to do both. Though.
Yeah, you're great at it.
I like managing people. I like talking with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just finding time for both. It's like I want to hand pick the creative stuff.
Mm. Well,
And
I think you may be in a
hand
position to
off
do
the
that.
rest.
Yeah, I think you can do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited since you guys didn't ask me and I gave you a chance to ask.
Oh,
Really,
yes.
I'm excited about First Taste TV in that project. So this past Monday during a stand-up call, the whole entire team got a chance to meet the other team from the Fuse, which is coming together with NextGen to create First Taste TV, which is going to be a streaming platform based on food service. So super fired up about that. It's going to be like Netflix for food service in a way.
You're talking about food service more than just schools.
More than just schools.
Okay.
Yep. So pumped up about that. I'm
How do
excited.
you change those words?
What words?
I feel like food service needs like something prettier, more edgy, or you know what I mean? Like, because
yeah.
like food service.
People don't think food service is really what it is, but I mean, it's just like people don't think school food is what it is. School food today
It's
is
amazing.
it's
Oh
pretty
my
awesome.
gosh, the stuff I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, well, like this trend guide we're working on.
The trend guide. Yep.
But then I saw like the recipes that we're going to be filming, and
Shout out to Butterball and Palmetto
Yes.
Noodles.
I'm like, that stuff is beautiful.
Right?
Like that's okay. That is not how we were raised with food at schools.
No.
Like
No.
really, like
Times
it's
have
gourmet food.
Times have changed.
They're pickling their own pickles.
But yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about bringing back Indulge. We're actually going to do Indulge, which is, you can say like high-end restaurants, hotels, travels, experiences, that sort of thing. Pumped up about that. And some side projects, side podcasts that I'm doing with some friends based on video games and all that nerdy stuff that I like.
And NextGen's just gonna go out the window.
It's all under the NextGen umbrella. Yeah, it's all under that. So
I know.
we got some cool things that we're doing, and I am so happy that both of you guys are on the team helping out because it wouldn't be possible without you. And thanks for taking the time to let people get a chance to know who you are and who NextGen is. And I mean, you guys are like the heart and soul of the team. So wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
I guess we gotta drop that mic and peace.
Yeah, drop that mic and peace out. All right, well, there you have it. This was it was episode 1 of season 3, tech test and all that good stuff. And I think that setup is pretty dope. And thank you guys for helping out with that.
Thank you, Marlon.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you, Marlon.
I don't trust the way you said thank you just now.
I love how she said it. I was like,
See,
oh
that,
my god.
that's being genuine. So I trust her already, and don't trust you
I
anymore.
wasn't sure what I was thanking you for.
Oh gosh.
There's so many things.
There's so many things. You're right. You're right. Well,
So
hey,
I
you
wasn't
know
able
what?
to hone it into one thing, and then I started questioning my thank you. That's
All
what
right.
happened.
Well, guess what? You are welcome. All right, see you guys.
See ya.